setup for this. Okay, now I'm recording. Let's go ahead and start. Just us two. I guess I'll start with this one. Seems exciting. Pizza Taco and Wayne C. So a cross-cut opening, this is good. One thing about the cross, it's not really a cross-cut opening, it's just a cross Fuseki. One thing you should know is that one side should never really get a large moyo. You can kind of get large territories, but a moyo should never really happen. So this should be an interesting one. You want to continue this simply when you play away. This is starting in the corner. It's very powerful for white to get this turn in Tanuki. Even if you get this, a lot because now you're forced to enter this, and then white can come back and enter. And locally, uh, your corner's still not alive. So once white adds this move, and like you say you play here, well now you're dead in the corner. White has a really strong outside, and this corner isn't completely dead. You would need to add another move, and then even then, white still has Aji in that corner. So I just recommend push one more time, and then you're gonna want to reduce the influence from the group. But we'll see how the game goes. Okay, so we did this, but we forgot to push here. Okay, white going for a large outside. One thing I'd recommend is just giving playing this Joseki. Let me turn that down. It's a little loud in my ear. But this is fine. I like this. One thing you could try doing is playing this. You might have to deal with this type of move, but paired with this, whoops, a lot of misclicking today. You could have, while the wall in the top left is doing a lot of work, the wall in the bottom right will also do a lot of work just by forcing the opponent to live locally. Okay, there we go. This is cool. We're doing good. Unfortunately, black did have to come back and answer. This one I would definitely try to approach all the way. You want to make use of your wall. I get what you're doing, but when you play on the third line, you do give your opponent like this shoulder hit that they can use. And eventually, if you come back and play here, black can just play in the center. And, well, locally, you don't have a lot of points, so you would need to start invading the corners. But if you go all the way, you give yourself a way to attack black, which is really nice. So you can always play underneath the stones. So in the game, black played there. I like the way that black is playing. I would recommend, though, that we just enclose the corner somehow, right? This one's a little bit too far. White can still jump in, and then when you're playing from this side, you're now allowing white to use their thickness to attack you. So a better way of handling this is just playing stuff like this. Because you can play from the corners to reduce the outside. So like you can always play on top, you can always play the shoulder hit on the inside of the moyo. There's potential peeps, you can come underneath. In this case, you could always play on top. I wouldn't recommend this one particularly, just because you can just push. You can play stuff like this. You can slowly creep and, gain more territory this way. I think it's a little too early to try something like this. You can go even further, like one further, but this one's a little too far. Good idea. Okay, yeah, so now we finally have some... This might be a better direction, just because white has a turn here too. That's a good point by white. Okay. We're jumping in, which is fine. I would recommend potentially something like this. If we play here, we're always giving white the option to jump inside. But if we kick first and we come in, now when white plays here, we have the potential to play the corner like this, or we can descend. And when white goes to live, we can play here or here while white has to live locally, which I believe is something like this. we then attack the two stones here. There's also more complicated variations, for example, like this. I don't really recommend it. Something very simple would be just this. Or later we have a peep, so if white jumps out, we can play here and then run away. So eventually we can use the Aji here to kind of like build some ice space, which is important. If you don't want to kick, then I would just recommend something simple like this. So when they do jump, you can threaten to come underneath. If they fold back here, then you have this Aji that is useful, and you can connect back up like this. There's also here too. So this is kind of a classic endgame shape, or not endgame shape, classic middle game shape that happens, especially when you have a stone either here or on the third line. In this case, white can still escape by playing this, which isn't terrible, but you can just give up the one stone. So back to the actual game. We have this shoulder hit. I'm not a fan, but I understand the idea. I would recommend just playing this way. And then you can just run away with the stones. You can play very lightly here. If you add too much stones to the corner, white can attack. So it's always a good idea to just leave it, because you can still play the one space jump here and force the opponent to respond. But I still kind of really value the corner here. Okay, so we're fighting. White not really taking advantage of the fact that they can just take the corner like this. When black answers, we have potential to just take everything, especially with this cut. If you double Hane, it's probably okay. There is no real way for black to take advantage of the corner, so we can always cut through. So I'm seeing a lot of just like negligence towards the corners, and we're all playing for the sides. But I promise you, if you believe in corner, side, center, you're going to have a lot more points than you think you do. Yeah, so black got this point. I would still play here. So if the opponent just plays the honey and connect, you can just come out. Because at least at this point, right, you can play this way. And at any point they play here, we can take the stone. If they play here, we can still play this one and then here. Because we can take these. This one might be a little bit more difficult because we'd have to play the go, but if you if you just connect, you run into this issue. And if you try this one, you lose on the race. So you would have to play the ko. But you can always play here too. So this is fine. So ignoring that fight, white had to come and save the group. I would play here just because if they play the Hane, you can kind of break their shape. So they'd play here first, and then now you can extend or jump. Extending would probably be the best because black can't cut. Missing the push, okay. The normal sequence would be this one, and when they cut, and when they block, we can jump, and then now we push, and then we can come out, and you would just be fighting here. But you would gain points on the side here, like this. That's the normal sequence. If black just cuts and ignores, you might get into this sequence, but then you kind of get into this little fight where we can do this and continue fighting. So white gets the corner, black gets the top side, but now black is running for their life. A fallen pillar. This is usually a bad move, and I don't recommend it. Once your opponent has played this, you have a few options. You can Tanuki, or you can follow up with this one. And in this case, if you follow up here, you're just going to get attacked. Same with this one. It's kind of a slow move. So my recommendation is either you descend or you Hane. and white plays here, and it feels a little over concentrated with this stone being so low, and you can play on top. But this is a really big move. The corner is going to be very large. This is going to be a very large move. Corner's still open if you play this one. Corner's still open here too. A person can always go for kind of a co-shape. So low is pretty nice. I think this one might just live. No, this is Silco. So this is really interesting. We kind of need to play for these areas. I would probably play this once because now we don't hurt the one stone. Less awkward. We can shoulder hit, which is nice. If like this, we can always turn in the center and kind of like white has really low territory. This is a low territory game. But the shapes are really nice for black. Iron Pillar is a little odd. This one, maybe just play like this. So if they take, they need to extend, and then we can kill. So if they take, then later we have a co that we can use, and H18 isn't necessarily Sente, but it's more or less a very large move. If black blocks, then we can jump and attack the whole group. For black, I would just play something like this. If they block, then we can just jump out. The idea is that we're trying to play lightly with these stones. We don't really need to save them. So anything like once we're out here, and if they play on the inside, then we can just play a large move. Okay. Oh, we left it. Oh, no. We can just block. So at this point, once we block, we can play here. If they extend, then I guess that's okay, but I'm actually not sure. But we can definitely block here. If they extend and then connect, we can cut. And they will end up giving up the stones. But once we're like this, black's outside is still very thin. They don't have a lot of eye space yet. And white's not super worried about dying because of the cut. This group is in danger. This group is in danger. So, well, actually, when black plays here, we can just we can start with this one, threatening the life and death of the top group. Even if black gets this, if white captures this whole group, then this is for naught. So black can't even play there. They'd have to start. They'd have to start here to prevent death. So back in the actual game. Okay, so we got a very similar shape. That's not an issue. Black answered this one. Oh boy, if you played here, white's in danger. So that's an if they just connect, then you potentially can just kill them. They can jump out though. That's something that can happen. But once they jumped out, you don't need to continue attacking the group. You can attack the cutting stones first. And when you're attacking these stones, you can save the top stones, and you just relatively add strength to your group before you can come back and attack this one. There is some issues with it, but like you can still play here. They still need to run out, type of deal. If we protect and then come out, the issue though is white will play here first for sure. We jump, protect, and then we need to jump out. And this type of game is not difficult, but black has a floating group, white now has a target to attack. Potentially 3 stones could die. It's a real mess of a fight, I can tell you that. But this one would be a better move. You still have to deal with white playing here, right? And if you just play like this, then it's a ko. So white can get a ko in the corner, and it's not fun at all. If you play here, white plays like this. You can't play this one because capture. So capture, and then here, and now the corner's not alive anymore. How do you live? Well, let's see. Can we play this one? Throw in and then play here. This would be another co. So there's a co in the corner for white, so white's not super dead anymore. Or almost dead. Oh, and the cut, that's a little greedy. So you want to get ahead of the opponent like this, and then you can cut. But the issue with this type of cut is that our shape is a little too weak, so we need to fix. If the opponent doesn't fix, say like let's say they play something in the center like this. Now when you block, they can't cut you anymore, and then white's in trouble. Okay. This is a tough fight. White was able to get through, or black was able to cut. One thing is, you can play here into this. So what you're doing is you're threatening to capture these stones. If black plays this one, we can throw in and capture, so white's alive. If white plays here, then we can just play this one. Once they try cutting, we can turn, or we can empty triangle and just fill the liberties. So there's no ladder, there's no net. White's winning the fight. Black would probably need to play something like this. And if here, we can still threaten to cut through. And again, there's no net, there's no ladder. Black is just kind of dead. They have to give up the stones. Because this is not a really good position for black. Oh no, black is threatening to net white. This isn't good. Ooh. Good on white for catching that. That's good. This stone's not necessary. We don't need to save it. I would recommend just turning for now. You want to be able to bring out these stones to capture these, but this group here needs to be saved. So like this, you would gain, well, maybe black will play here, but the idea here is that once this group here on the bottom is saved, you can bring out this one stone. And it adds a lot of value to the center fight here. So, for example, if black just fix, black would play here, or black can continue playing like this. And then we get to jump out, and you can see that we're kind of like swallowing white stones here. You can go one more and then play here. The idea is that if like this, we can bamboo, or if they play the Atari out, we can Hane. We can probably play the Hane directly as well. The only issue is that this would happen, but with this, I think white's perfectly happy playing this way. So black would actually just try to give up the stones like this, and then you can swallow them. But it's incredibly small, right? So after we've made this exchange, we need to make sure that we want to actually capture these. So we wouldn't bring them out immediately, only when it's big enough to capture them. We have other big moves like playing on this side or threatening to attack this group. Super big. Okay. In the game, we tried saving the stones, and then we got threatened to be split. So black already successfully split. We just need to protect ourselves on this side. So once white plays a moves like this, then we can threaten to start attacking or just protect our group on the bottom, which is important. If we don't protect and white gets strong enough, for example, if we continue to try splitting in the center here, eventually white can play something like this, and then now the bottom black group is in danger, so we need to preemptively stop that after we've made one exchange. So we split. We're playing a ladder out that black got. I'm really curious how black is winning this game now. Did we accidentally die here? We did. We accidentally died in the bottom. We can just play here to live. There's me eye here on the bottom for 2 eyes, and then there's no way to stop this eye down here. So I think the move you missed was this one. Interesting. You can make a ko now. The ko is very big. If you play here, they play this one, now you're dead locally. Uh, this is very, very difficult now. I think the game is more or less in Black's favor because this is very large. This is also large, but maybe it's even. I can't really tell. That's very hard to tell. But we continue adding stones. So now I'm going to have to say it is good for Black. Black continued playing this way, which is weird. Huh. Well, now it's good for White again. There's a lot of Aji in this corner. Like, just playing here into this gives White the corner, which is super important. We technically don't need to worry about these 3 stones. We don't care about them. We care about the safety of our small wall here because it's next to a big Black group. And then we let Black come out. The way to stop Black from coming out is just play this way. You kind of need to pick the direction that is going to be the most important for you. So if like this, right, like we can swallow one side or the other, but Black has a lot of potential here in the top side to reduce. So if we just swallow this, then I think this is okay. We still are missing uh, this. That's huge. If we get that, then I think the game is still good for White. But I don't think we do. We got a little scared there to play that one. And we lost a lot of stones. Okay, Black is going on a rampage now. So we did get it, that's great, but we kind of gave Black everything. We didn't gain any points through the center here, which I'm going to have to say is good for Black. Okay. A little unfortunate about the bottom left, but, you know, it happens. Good game, guys. Alright, so we have PG and Solons. Fairly normal game. This is interesting. I won't say it's terrible, but, you know, you do leave Aji here for White to... Ooh, why is it always loud? You do leave Aji for White to kind of play here later, which would be interesting to see. But White leaned. Okay, the leaning is not a good idea. I understand why you played it. So one thing is Black is playing a Chinese opening. We played here. It's technically speaking, like this is going to be the largest side of the board, but there's nothing wrong with this approach. We played low. I would recommend kind of approaching like this and making the right side as large as possible. Sometimes later in the game, you may want to invade the corner just to steal the points. It's also a good idea to steal the corner just because Black has a low stone on both sides. So if they play this way, when they try to make this area as large as possible, they have to jump from the 3rd line, which means the left side isn't as large as it could be. And the same thing with the this side here, they have to jump from the 3rd line again, or they have to finish here and we can reduce by shoulder hitting. So the right side is definitely going to be the largest. Even here, I would still recommend, you know, something like this, even if we get attacked here with this stone. Just because we can always ignore it, right? Black, again, if you consider this board position, right? Black is all in the 3rd line in terms of development, except for the corners. The corners are the only pieces that are, like, high. And, well, if we consider D6 high, that might be a little bit different. But White is kind of developing faster. So even if Black continues to attack the 1 stone, we can always reduce, but we can always build faster as well. So you have shoulder hits, you have attachments that you can make. You can turn this into a building game, which works well for White because they're on the 4th line and they can develop faster. Here, now we're getting into a position where stones and development are kind of no longer available. So if we continue with the same thing, Black is now on the 5th line. So if we, and I mean, they're no longer, Black doesn't have to respond to the top side. I mean, they didn't have to earlier, but if we continue this way in terms of development, black is actually building a lot faster than white is. So black has the opportunity to jump into the side and make use of his influence and high stones. Okay, so white kind of leaned on the corner, but they gave... I would continue just doing this. Even if my opponent got this wall, I would be very happy to take all of this territory. A lot of the biggest reason is like when white jumps out, you have this turn, and white has a wall, but the wall isn't really doing anything considering it's right next to the L14 group. If I'm going to jump out, I would probably either match or just try Kima. I almost don't want to do anything with this group and just try finding another way to play here. One thing black could definitely try doing is fighting this for sure. You can seal black in. The corner might take a little bit of a hit. For example, white can try stuff like this. So you might take a local loss, but white split into two groups, which is pretty big and good for a Chinese opening, right? You want to be able to attack. If we're not attacking, we're probably not doing something right with the Chinese opening. Okay, that's fine. We're a little low though. I wish we didn't play that one. White could probably go for one extra move, like do a little bit of a leaning, help this group out, and then come back up here. But we don't want to approach here. Black is going to get this, and then be able to lean on you. Maybe this one. Well, if we want to lean there, we can probably play this one. Now black is like getting this huge outside. If you try doing this, black can eventually steal like the points. Potentially black could also just fix and let you have the connection underneath. And then if we continue like this, black is then again building a large outside. So black's aim with this wall is to put pressure on this group and then eventually build with it by playing on here. The other thing is black can play this one and just try attacking you, which is definitely a possible thing to do. This is a good opportunity to... Okay, cool. We're playing lightly. I like that. This is good. We took a side. Fantastic. We don't care if they connect up. Here, I would either play here or here. We don't want to touch the weak stone. When we do... Okay, we're attacking immediately, which is good. The only issue is that later black is going to get this peep, which is super nice, so they can do this in combination, and then all of a sudden... you know, black is pretty happy about reducing the territory, or they'll play here, which in this case it doesn't work. So we had to play here or here. Well, this isn't really working the way that I thought it would. I guess we need to slide still, and if you descend, we peep, then here. And there's still some issues locally, but we can play on either side, so we can play here, but we've lost the corner. Right, okay. So we can't really do this immediately because black just cuts. So we kind of have to let white just... or let black live locally. We can do this one, but we're not really killing the group, so we have the option of playing here or playing here. I'd recommend playing this one, and then later you can reduce the side by peeping. If the opponent lets us have this, then we can kill the corner. But we don't need to do that. There is Aji here, so be very careful. Worst case scenario, or best case scenario, is we get something like this, and then later we have to deal with a ko for endgame stuff. So we jump out. Not the best way to jump out. One thing we can consider is this, but we need to also consider the fact that our opponent can cut us. So if they jump out, we might have to fix our shape here, which eventually gets to this. Or if white is able to either cut on either side, right, can Can they get a Panuki that is worth it? So same here, same shape. Ideally, this isn't really going to work for white to grab the Panuki. So we would just have to fight this. Either way, you can connect or connect here. White has some issues on the inside shape like this, so if they cut, they'd have to fix. And then we can go ahead and run with these stones. One thing you can do is you can prep for that type of cut by kind of putting pressure on the white stone here, which can come in various sizes. You can pincer it, you can lean on it. This type of lean, I wouldn't recommend this lean. It doesn't really work when they push up, because when they fight, you leave this cutting point later. So if they fix, then we have to fix our shape, this potential cutting point. So if we just lean and then attach, well, now white has to deal with this type of stuff now. One thing white can do to actually fight that is like they'll play here and then jump. But at that point, like, the damage has been done, and the corner is still open too. So once this group is strong enough by attacking this group, so let's say we have strong enough shape, we can still jump into the corner because of the Aji. So good thing for black to try to prep the prevention of the cut. But we let white out, so we have to deal with that now. Okay. I see that we're kind of playing. So we have a weak group here. We have a weak group here. We need to make one of them stronger, and then we need to come back for the other one. So say we play like this, and then we play here. We already have a lot of points on the left side, so we need to play in a way where we can reduce our opponent and also save our shapes here. So one thing is we need to mark our strong and weak groups. So this group here is pretty weak. It doesn't have two eyes. This group here is pretty weak. It doesn't have two eyes. The corner is safe. This area is somewhat safe. There's a lot of Aji there, but it more or less is connected. So now that we've identified the weak groups, white also has weak groups too, right? So white has this group, white has this group. Potentially this one C stone is in trouble. And then there is some potential in this area where, with D, that we might be able to use it to cut white. So the big thing is, once we have these two strong groups, say white just plays simple and answers, right? Now we get into a position where these stones here are looking really good to attack and become kind of the focal point of the game, where black can really try to solidify a lead, especially after, freely giving up a lot of territory here. There's still Aji, so I'm not going to count the corner points yet. So I'd say black is pretty ahead, but we can always double check. AI says it's an even game. I take that back. I take back what I said. It's more or less an even game. But black can take that momentum to really make it complicated to try and take a lead. So white. So see how white played against the weak group, defended their group here. So now it's stronger, harder to attack. Black is forced to run. White has a couple of options here. They can play from the light group, or they can continue attacking the bottom. I wouldn't recommend jumping here. Okay, so they attack from the light group. They're jumping out, forcing black to connect everywhere. And we're trying to make eyes with a group that we should not be making eyes. So here, locally, black can never connect. If we just jump out, we can double Hane, and then they can take these stones, and we're okay with that, because they'll never be able to cut and connect. So fun little Tsuji. Black can play something like this, and they can take a few stones, but they're going to hurt the corner in the process. So that's fun Tsuji there. Now we have to deal with the turn. So black got the turn in the center, which is very powerful for black. So I wouldn't recommend. Yeah, I wouldn't have recommended this descend. Black is now attacking white. So here's the thing. Can we Hane? Locally, black can't play there. So how does black handle this? Maybe they play something like this, in which case we can kick. and then swallow the 3 stones. If we can play this way, this is going to be very big. Black gave up 3 stones for no reason. Now we're mostly alive. Not fully alive, but we're mostly alive now. If they connect, we can still play here. There are some issues. For example, black gained a lot of liberties, but we can cut. So black will play like this first. However, black kind of wins this liberty race now. So we would need to play here. And it looks like if we play like this and then protect, black can try to attack, but we can double Hane. And now we're fully connected. This is fantastic. We have this little Tsuji. This is a little bit hard to see, but maybe it's something that you can think about later in your games. Like, is this possible? Can I do this double Hane connect? Very, very interesting. One thing is we can just do this, but this would lead to something very different, where black is the one that is connecting underneath, and we're left in a position where we're struggling in the center. So maybe we wouldn't do that. And the kick is probably going to be the best move, like that. Instead, in the game, we blocked here, but now black gets to escape, so we have to come back and save our group. But if we save our group, black gets to surround, and we're not looking so hot. We'd have to play here and into this one. And then, do we have 2 Ys? I don't know. My answer would be is no, we don't. Because now if we take either one of these, we have half an eye, and we can't make 2. So what do? We came out. Black you should 100% cut this group off. There's no reason to not. Because when we continue forcing this group, we can eventually surround it, right? I can understand, like, group safety, like that's important. But remember that white's not fully alive here. If we cut white here, there's another group, right? These stones would be grouped. These stones would be grouped against our stones that would be here. These stones would be in trouble, but the idea here would be, like, we can connect, right? So white jumps out, we're connecting. If white blocks, we're connected to this group. So when we run and they run, we can actually attack these stones and swallow them. When white runs with these, we can always Hane and ask to connect up the group and then run. So we can continuously split white and gain momentum to attack even further. White really put themselves in a particular bind by letting black escape here, which is not good. Okay, we tried to forcibly disconnect white. Unfortunately, that doesn't work, right? So, but we can get this Hane, or this block, right? But we gave white not 2 eyes. We gave white an eye, and they escaped. So that's a little bit troublesome. I would play here, some protection to get the 1 space jumps. There's a potential wedge cut here. So if we're not careful, white can try doing stuff like this. So one thing is we play here, here, cut. If we take one, white extends. If we take this one, white extends. White's really trying to separate the stones. If we play on top, well, guess what? We can get cut. If we cut here, well, we already have 2 cutting points, so now we need to figure out which one we're going to protect. If we protect that type of thing with something like this, this actually might not protect it. It still might be there, but we're prompting white to answer in a way, and we have more moves to work with to protect our stones. Putting pressure on white, but we're leading them to side territory. It might be better to do this one and then extend. White will probably, if white tries making ice space like this, then we definitely 100% can cut off. This is something we should force white to do and aim for. It does mean that the corner gets hurt, and it's very troublesome. But we have ways of playing around that. We can force our opponent to play the way that we want to. So We can still live by attacking, and potentially our corner is a co, but it's big that we are attacking these groups as well. It might be bigger than the corner a little bit, but well, I'm not 100% sure on that. Okay, we're getting a little adventurous. We have weaknesses that we need to cover. Kind of we let white break through our shape, which isn't very good. Maybe just descend and then descend when they play here. Now you can play this this move here, and this looks a lot more clean. The only shape that they're breaking is the Knight's move, but we already have two strong groups. We don't leave extra Aji. We're already undercutting the side, so there's nothing we need to worry about. There's White's not connecting in on the fourth line, right? So when White extends, they're not going to be able to attack this group in a very large way. Oh, okay. I would not play this. White can just attack us on the top side now. Like white can fully go ham onto the Blackstones because this is way too deep. We're in a position where black has these stones and these stones. Remember, we still have weak groups on the board. So if we just jump in and make another one, well now white can play in a way to separate them. And if you have to give up these stones, you're giving away free territory. Not to mention that, once you've given those stones up, white can still try to split your groups. So once we've added this group here, white missed an opportunity to go all in. White is going all in anyways, which is great. We're punishing black for their mistakes. I love it. Okay. Not quite what I thought would happen. I think we can probably get away with just this one. If black plays here, we can split the group. We don't really care about being cut because we can connect and now black is in trouble. So black is in a lot of trouble here. One thing black could have done was play the driving to Suji. That doesn't work. We should not play that one. But the damage is kind of already done. White has a lot here. White has a lot from this type of fighting style. So if I'm gonna say if there's any losing move for black, I'd say it's here. Potentially the top left could have been a losing move or not blocking properly. And this fight kind of gets wildly out of hand here. We had something going, but we kind of slipped the ball by giving white some more ice space here, but potentially this is the end of the game. We actually don't need to answer that. We can play here first. And then you can play this one. If they connect, then we play here. If they cut, we just save our group, right? We're not really worried about being cut here. Potentially there is a weird cut in this center area. Oh no. We're losing everything. We shouldn't. No. White. You should play here. This is fantastic. Black is dying on the bottom right. Even if black plays here, we should be able to make... Can we make two eyes? Maybe we're actually in trouble. Maybe we're in deep trouble here, right? We can't really make two eyes. Oh no. It's not completely over. For example, we can play this one, and then here, threaten to kill these stones. So if they play like this, and we play this one. However, we need to prevent this Atari, right? So how can we do that? Well, we can peep first, and then we can play here. Now we have a double connect, and then black is in trouble. So if black connects here, we are still in trouble. Still very much in trouble. Because we play like this. And then there's a connection. Oh boy. Maybe the trade isn't good for me. Okay. Yeah, we need to connect our group. That's my bad. But this doesn't really connect the group. We have two cutting points here. So I'm unsure. This is getting a bit spicy. Even here, like, black is focused on, like, trying to save these stones, but locally, white's not fully alive here. Even if white plays like this isn't 2 eyes. We still only have 1 eye here. Black should 100% be focused on splitting this group, because locally, if we have to give up these stones, that's fine. We kind of have, like, damage is already done here. We need to make that kind of trade now. I don't know. Let's see who's winning right now. White's winning by a lot. It looks like AI agrees that you should save these stones, but what if I play here and white decides to kill those stones? The game is a lot closer. The game is a lot closer, and it's a risk that black should take. Okay. Fun. I kind of want to see the end of the game, but I think white is... Oh! Oh my! Black got something very large here. Alright, so if black is fully connected here, right? Black should stop trying to save these stones, and 100% try cutting this stuff, because now the top group is going to die. This is like a full reversal of what's happening in the game. So like if we just look at AI is white plus 1.7, but we're fully connected, and there's potential to kill white on the top side. Yeah, black got the center stuff. If you're going to try attacking black, we kind of need to go all in. You have no choice in that matter. Oh, the game got a lot closer. Oh no, but we're getting attacked severely. We're not alive on the top side still. We still owe some moves. Black is slowly killing us on the left side. Black has successfully killed us on the left side. We were forced to connect. So we invaded the left side. We gave black everything, and that's a little troublesome. It would be better if we just didn't. Like, if you play here, you can push and then descend. Now black needs to try to connect underneath, which is fine, but you can come in and play stuff like this. Now he needs to protect. How, I don't know, but if it's like this, then like we've killed the left side. So black is going to have some trouble trying to invade like this. So this move is very large for white, and it gives you a big chance to attack. One downside to that is this type of move. So you're going to end up giving up these stones possibly. So one thing is black can play here first. You can play this one and then into here. So you've captured the bottom left, but you end up giving up these stones. Either black plays here or black plays this one. Bamboo just protects the cut here. And like this group, I bet you the AI still said, no, okay, it's dead. Trade is not good. Okay. Very, very difficult game for black and white. You guys have played a very chaotic game. But after black captures the left side and the center, I'm going to have to say that the game is probably good for black now. Oh, black didn't see the cut. Yeah. That happens sometimes. You just have to be very mindful of it. Good game, guys. Hopefully you learned something. All right, we have Fred versus Monsieur Colbert.
Thanks for the review.
No problem. I'm gonna go like super fast in this one. We only have 10 minutes. I kind of went long on the second game. It was very interesting. So very. I'll probably do less opening, and we'll do more of like a middle game focus. Okay, so perfect. This is good. Starting a large fight. One thing I like to do is I like to start this, especially with like the shape that's happening here. When white plays like this, we can actually focus on playing like big moves. And with actually with the Q13, like I want to say this is probably a good result for black, mostly because when we get into the shape, white still owes a move on the top side, and then later in the game we can present a cutting point in the fight, right? So chances are white will probably just leave it as is and then come back and fix. But we've gained a lot of points here, and then we can force white to live locally and kind of get this like overall fight or influence in the center. So we connected, and we kind of gave white like an easy out. We gave white actually really good shape. It follows well with the J17. That's something we kind of want to try to avoid. Giving our opponent good shape and tactics like this. So we're playing this immediately. Oh my goodness. Uh, you guys probably know more than I do about this shape. I have no idea. I think we need to connect first, don't we? White needs to come out, and then we can play this one. But do we have the liberties to play this way? I don't know. Oh, I forgot to turn down the volume. It's really loud in my ear. We jump out. We have to descend. We just run out of liberties. So we cannot play this way. This feels bad. If we're playing this way, it feels bad. In that case, we probably needed to play this one into something else. Or at least we shouldn't have blocked. We should play here first. Because if they jump out, then we can double Hane. Oh no, we can't double Hane. I'm bad. Okay, ignore what I said. I have no idea about this position. It's lost on me. I just know that black is in bad shape right now. Potentially we need to play this way, and then when white jumps, we need to make life somehow. So here into here, but this isn't locally alive. White can play the vital point, and then I really want to play this one, but now white has this Atari, so I'm very confused on what black should do here. Do I have... Let me ask AI. AI says this one. Okay, we're both learning here now. So this one and then extend again. Okay, it's B plus. AI made a mistake. Oh, white made the mistake. So white made the mistake first. So white should play here to attack, and then Hane to connect underneath. Black connects, and then we extend. Interesting. This okay. So this is going to be the final shape. So black kind of gets this thick outside, white gets the corner. This is the move sequence. I can actually understand this. So let's go back and look at it real quick. So white's threatening to connect underneath and kill the group. There's also a chance that the Hane doesn't work anymore. So if black, we get this Incente. If black plays here, big, we get this again. But I don't. My brain is having trouble processing this. But like this, we can break out type of thing. Actually, we should definitely just continue breaking out. And the idea here is we can attack these stones and kill them. Interesting. We should probably let's just ask the AI. This is very complicated. We attack, we give this up, and we play here. Okay. Whew. I'm still a strong player. I know what I'm doing. Uh, yeah. So black is going to just threaten to connect up, take the corner, but they lose the stones on the outside. Otherwise, white gets to play this type of stuff. Connect up. Black needs to fix their shape and then come back here. And then black gets the thick outside, white gets the corner. All right, let's continue with the game. The game was a little crazy. Black got some really bad shape, which is unfortunate. Oh, but we didn't. I feel like we should play here, force the cut, and then connect, because now they can't cut like this, and we can capture these stones. Well, okay, hold on. Jay, what are you doing? Black looks like they're gonna win that, if that's possible, because now we have 3-2, and black is going to win that, so maybe I'm wrong. and whoever played is correct. Okay, so we just captured the stones, which is fine. We had to give up those stones. I have to say I like the result for black, but white does get sente, so there is positivity in this, and we can start building some points here later in the game. So going on, the fight continues. Oh, and black chose. If I'm black, I would rather choose this. Big thing here is that we can pincer. We don't have to play this Atari, first of all, but we can play here. We can play this one, and we've reduced the effect of the Panuki on the left side. It is no longer large. Um, and we're kind of like we're taking advantage of the fact that we have a lot of points compared to white. That means that white needs to protect the bottom side, and we have attack targets now. Like there's an attack target in the center here. There's a Panuki that can be lowered or leaned on later in the game, which is important. Okay, so we played this way. I think locally sometimes we have to play this one. They have to play this ugly connection, and then we get to jump. They jump. And here you can kind of make the shape better. I don't know if this is going to be a good direction, but I do like the idea of just leaving it later. Because we do, as white, we do want to be able to Hane here and cut, right? So this would help us later in the game, having some sort of dreamy variation where we can fight our way back into the game. I actually don't know if the top left is super good for black. Apparently it's good for white, I'm wrong. In that case, I think we can just pincer and attack. But I felt like this is pretty good for black. I would like to play black here, mostly because, I mean, I have a lot of solid territory. But the way that black is playing here, I would say that it's not that super good, and that we should kick first before we answer. There's a few things that white could play. White could descend, probably, and we can get into like this type of shape, or white extends up and we still get this and we put pressure on this group. This side is undercut. There's a lot of value in keeping the corner like this. But like if we allow white to get the corner, I think it's not that great. Um, it looks like a shape move, but I promise you, if you just jump, your shape is a lot stronger. You play this move, white cuts, and then you ask yourself, what are you doing? Because now you're in trouble. You have to play this Hane, and then you have to give up the one stone. Uh, the stone looks ridiculous, right? So we wouldn't essentially if we played this move and white Hanes and we play like this, we wouldn't play 7, right? We just wouldn't do it. Okay, so we're leaning on the group, which is great. I would play this one, and oh, maybe. Well, I would still play this one because now when we fight this group, white has to run. But we're in this position where I would have preferred if we had made this exchange, because now our corner would be bigger. But we've lost the corner and we've lost strength with this group, so we can't play the same tactic here. So I guess this is okay. We connected on the right side. White gets to capture the stone, which is super nice. Oh, this is troublesome. Yeah. I'm gonna have to end this, unfortunately. I apologize. Very interesting top left, bottom side's pretty interesting. I wish I was going super fast, but the second game took a little bit longer. So thanks for watching, guys. You can find the VOD on YouTube. Thank you.